Alrighty, so continuing on this little sort of mini series that I'm doing this week, because it's a little bit dry this week, I've got to be honest. We're going to be taking on the deer and showing you the team that I sort of used to sort of kind of fast farm it. Obviously, there's a lot of mechanics and stuff like that to these fights, so you kind of have to worry about some of those. Yeah, we're just going to kind of hop into this thing and get going. But before we do, if you're new to the channel or anything and this video ends up helping you out, obviously, feel free to subscribe. Come hang out with us. We upload every day pretty much. So I don't know if you want to be a part of the community, obviously, just, do your thing. But either way, this is the team that I use. Obviously, I don't use any of the light or dark units on here, which is kind of, I feel like hit or miss. I originally used Trader Melly in the deer guide video that I did, and you can see that my team really hasn't changed much. But I just really like the way that this team sort of works. Elat is definitely by far the weirdest unit on the team, but it's because of her ultimate that I can beat the final floor, final phase so easily. So, unless I just get really bad RNG with some of the passives, I think, the way that they stack together, I don't typically have to worry about getting my ultimate removed. We have pretty basic gear here. We have an attack crit set on the main two damage dealers here. We have an attack defense set on Jormungand because she's typically not going to crit, and we just want her to do a little bit of extra damage, so we have an attack set there. We have HP defense on Elat because she's very weak. She typically doesn't get, targeted too much or anything, so just kind of making sure she can survive, because we're sort of just kind of using her as like a character to get through the red cards when we need them, and on top of that, we're going to use her ultimate for support. So let's go ahead and hop into this thing. I honestly don't run the deer very much at all. There's probably a much more consistent, much better team to do this with, but this is the team that works the best for me. I don't really even have a reason to run the deer anymore because I have all of the deer relics, and if they keep doing it like they've been doing it, it doesn't look like we're ever going to get another deer relic, at least for the foreseeable future, because it seems like all of the new relics that they do normally go to the newest bosses. So Nidhogg being the newest one out at the time of recording this, it's just kind of a tough call. I have not done this in a while, so I do apologize if I sort of mess up the mechanics here. It's probably been like 6 months or more since I've ran the deer. I want to say probably more, because the deer had a lot of really good relics that I wanted, and so I ran it the most, which is fine, I guess. Like, I'm pretty familiar with this, but with each boss having their own set of mechanics and everything, it's very possible I messed this up. So floor 1's not really too bad. The basic concept that you have to get around is that on phase 2 and phase 4 of each floor, he has a color wheel mechanic. So you have to attack in order of the color wheel, and light and dark characters do not fit the color wheel at all. So if he doesn't have any sort of damage reduction or anything on where you have to do a complete color wheel rotation before you can deal damage, you can typically use light or dark characters cards before you start the color wheel, and you can get away with it. So just make sure that whichever one you start on, whether it be red, green, blue, you just keep going in the same order, or else you'll mess up the color wheel. The damage won't get dealt like it should, and then he'll end up applying a debuff or effect on you, which is very bad. So obviously it's floor 1, so this one shouldn't be too difficult. We have 2 red units, so I'm going to try to start with red cards if possible. So let's go for red into green into blue into red. On this first set of rotations that you do, once you complete the full color wheel, I think you just do a lot more damage, or maybe it's just like once the color wheel starts, you do more damage. Yeah, you can see the Eikthyrnir card does a really big amount of damage there, and then this card actually should finish it off, because Freyr and the one Eikthyrnir are going to be your biggest damage dealers here. Obviously, it might be a little weird for you to see the regular, like old school, the one Eikthyrnir on here, but the fact that his ultimate hits twice, Freyr's ultimate hits twice, it's just really easy to get both ults ready to go and then just bust through a phase really easily. So phase 3 on all of the floors is typically pretty normal. Like, this is kind of just like a prep phase for going into making sure that you can kill the last phase. So if we use Jormungand's passive correctly, we can rank up some of our cards here. I would like to have Escanor and Freyr's ultimates ready to go for this if possible. So let's go ahead and do something like this. And I'll use this card right here. Well, let's not use both Escanor cards just in case I don't draw another one. So let's do something like this, actually. And that will rank up our cards after the third attack because it's with a different character each card. And then we can use this next turn to sort of take inventory, use what we need to, get our ultimates ready to go, and then shoot down this last phase. So close to killing, we basically just need to use one card and we'll be good. Get a free merge there on Escanor, which is really nice, so we're one step closer to our ultimate. I don't know, it's kind of weird running this again, to be honest, because it's been so long, but yeah, I think that this fight has, well, I don't want to say it's the least amount of relics. I think there's like 17, which is a lot if you haven't started it at all, but a lot of the relics are really nice to have because they're Archangel relics and stuff, so you want to have those for, I don't know, like the modern Archangel team and everything. Let's go ahead and just move this and get his ultimate, and then, because I don't think we'll need to heal or anything, actually, let's use the Jormungand card first, so that way we heal going into the phase. We'll move this, use that. That will get us all three of those ultimates ready to go. And then we can kind of just use the cards in order, because her ultimate actually increases damage dealt. Not that it really matters, because our ults are basically just going to hit damage cap regardless. But because we're going by the color wheel, so we're going to go green first. So Jormungand is green, we use her card. Then we use Escanor's because it's blue. And then this is red. And then we would typically go back to green, so we'll just do that, you know, to kind of show you. So hit damage cap there. This one hits damage cap, and it also hits twice, which means we kill, so no big issue. Very, very easy, very, very clean. Moving into floor 2. Alrighty, so this one is phase 2, or floor 2, sorry, is a little bit more interesting because of the way the mechanic works with you breaking the color wheel. So we're just going to use the same kind of cards that we did in the initial turn. I'm going to use this one instead. But if you break the color wheel on this floor, you're going to get frozen. Whoever breaks the color wheel gets frozen. And you need to be frozen on phase 2 whenever, I think it's on his turn 2. He's going to use a move where if you don't have a frozen character, it's going to one-shot you, kind of like on the bird, where if you don't have a stance on, you're going to get one-shotted. So we need to be careful of that. That's like basically the only mechanic that I remember about this whole deer experience, if I'm being completely honest. So let us, more than likely we're going to end up killing here and not ranking up cards if I'm not mistaken. So let's try to do this. If those two don't kill, which it's very possible the Freyr card does. Ooh, I'd like to keep a Jormungand card as well. So let's use the Escanor card. And then that should be more than enough to kill. And then we'll just move a card. Yeah, actually, we're not even going to be able to get to use the Escanor card, unfortunately. So a little bit of a misplay there. I honestly think that even though having the rank up on Jormungand's her Holy Relic is really nice, it almost hinders you in some ways because you kill faster than you want to sometimes, which, I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have, but I don't know, kind of odd. So at this point, he has this shield up. You have to do one full rotation of your cards before you can actually deal damage here. So we're just going to use a... What do we want to use? We want to end with maybe using the Escanor card. So if we start with Escanor, so if we go blue into red, into green, into blue, we'll hit with the Flood card because this card goes. Then we use a red card, then we use a green card. It's going to remove the damage reduction stack that he has up here. And then we're going to use the Escanor card, which is going to get through. Unfortunately, he does have a damage cap, so you kind of have to worry about that a little bit. But it's not like the biggest deal in the world. We don't get killed or anything here. Luckily, we should be able to still end up killing this phase really quickly. So we shouldn't have to worry about even doing the freeze mechanic, which is kind of nice. If you're going to end up, if you don't think you could kill during this phase, make sure that you break the cycle so that way you get frozen and you don't get absolutely one shot by this card right here. But we have to use a, let's use red into green, into the ultimate here, and then we'll just work on getting the ultimate back in the next phase. So I think we'll just go ahead and throw this card away. So we should kill. Because even, I mean, you can see that even Elat's cards are doing okay in this phase. And then this card's going to hit twice, so it's going to hit the 30% damage cap. A little bit of HP to survive, but it kills him anyway, so very nice there. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I really like the color wheel mechanic for the deer. It's really interesting, but it makes it insanely RNG heavy, which is not typically what you want to see, but, you know, it just kind of ends up working out that way sometimes. I don't have any Jormungand cards in hand, so we're just going to throw all of these away and use... I think if I use anything here, I probably end up killing, unfortunately. So let's maybe move an Escanor card first before we throw all this stuff away. Which, I'm also not going to have any Escanor cards in hand. You have to be really careful, because I have 2 red units. Realistically, I should be using a lot of red cards here and getting them out of hand. But he's a bit tanky on this phase, so we should be able to get away with throwing a couple more cards away. We get Jormungand's card. I don't think he has a damage reduction stack or anything in this next phase, so that'll be really nice. He does put an Infect on, which is kind of annoying. It used to be a 2-turn Infect that you could get here. Or maybe it was just always a 2-turn effect on Global when it came out, and then they had to patch it and make it a 1-turn Infect because it was actually super broken. But we don't have any Escanor cards in hand. Let's go ahead and use basically all of these Freyr cards. And then I don't even really want to... I don't really want to get her ult because it's just going to kind of clog my hand up, but... what do I do? I think we use just all Freyr cards. Hope for the best. If we get an Escanor card, that's really good. If not, we're kind of screwed. Because I shouldn't be pulling any extra ultimates here, which actually, I don't think I kill here. I think if you do a color rotation on this phase, it'll get rid of this HP boost. So we might actually be helping ourselves out here by stalling a little bit more. And if we don't get infected this turn, I can potentially heal, which would be kind of nice. We did pull an Escanor card, so that's really good. We get ulted here. Not a big deal. He doesn't really do that much damage, to be honest. So, let's do... Actually, I think it's just kind of like a stall mechanic, because he got rid of the HP mechanic anyway. So, let's do this to heal. That'll give us our ultimate as well as we have an extra green card. I'm going to go ahead and just move this to get ultimate, and then... we'll throw these cards away. It's going to give us Elat's ultimate, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We should have both double hitting ults in hand ready to go for this phase, so it shouldn't really take us too long to get through this. So we should hopefully be okay. And hopefully I'll lifesteal a decent amount here. Oh, this is a really bad passive to get, actually. That one's going to almost ruin our run because of the ultimate removal. That's a really hard one to work around, actually. If you can get any other passive besides that one, it's so much better. I mean, you can obviously still win, but it's it definitely makes it harder. Let's go for red, green, blue, red. We'll see what happens. I'm not thrilled to get that passive, as you can see. This will hopefully get rid of the HP boost that he has, I think. Yes, and then shouldn't be too hard to go ahead and kill here. I guess it's just going to be a matter of how much HP we have, which we do have a Jormungand heal card, so that might help us a bit. And we can use it right here at the beginning of the phase. We do still have 2 Jormungand cards in hand, which is good. And we haven't been screwed at all by the color mechanic yet, which is very nice. So let's go ahead and use this to heal. So that was a green card, then we need to use the blue into the red into the green. So actually, let's go ahead and use the level 3 card. So green, blue, red, green. That should be more than enough to kill. Hopefully this heals a decent amount. If this doesn't heal Escanor all the way, hopefully his card here heals back, because I'm pretty sure Jormungand gives all stat boost, if I'm not mistaken. So should be healing his, or helping his lifesteal as well. So that's floor 2. I guess it's good that I can show you guys the worst passive on here, but yeah, we're all at full health, which is really nice. Let's move to floor 3. Alrighty, so we're on floor 3. I typically try to save the Jormungand buff removal cards in this phase, because if I'm not mistaken, there's at some point you need the buff removal card because he puts on evasion. I want to say it's in the very last phase, so you probably don't even really need to save this one from the beginning, but I typically try to, just in case. Escanor always ends up sort of getting attack sealed on this this first phase here, so it's not too bad. Plus, whenever you use, I think whenever you do a full rotation of Jormungand's Holy Relic, it gives you, or I think it cleanses you, so I think you can get rid of the attack seal here, which is fine, I guess. It's not really like a huge deal, but I don't know. Obviously, getting attack sealed is kind of annoying because you can't use those cards at all. But we'll play around it. It's not a huge problem, I don't think. So let's go for if we use, I would have to use the Jormungand card, unfortunately, to cleanse, which I don't think I want to do that. I think I can kill with just these cards, and that way we'll have a blue and green card in hand. We have 2 red units, so the odds of us getting red cards are very, very good. So hopefully we can just kill here, move into the next phase, be good to go, no problems. Obviously we're not going to have ults or anything, but it is what it is. We also get our ultimate removed, or our 2 ultimate move gauges removed at the beginning of each phase, which is very annoying. If I'm not mistaken, if you break the color wheel on this one, it gives you a corrosion stack, which isn't the worst, but if you stack too many of them, of course, it's going to really hurt you. So let's go for red, green, blue, red. That clears up a lot of hand space. I don't think that there's really any big issues with phase 2. I know that in phase 3, you kind of just want to sort of build up and get ready for the last phase, so this typically isn't really a hard phase at all, I don't think. Obviously, because we're going to have to work around that passive, though, I think we want to go into the last phase with all ults in hand, so that way we'll get them removed. We'll hope RNG doesn't screw us too bad on card draw, and then we can try to build back up to our ultimates to kill him pretty quickly. So he does have a blue card here. Does this have the evasion on it? Increases the monster's damage taken from certain attributes. Okay, that's kind of bizarre, I gotta be honest. So let's just use green into blue into red into green. I honestly think we'll be able to kill this turn, so it shouldn't really be that big of an issue. Honestly, I don't even remember having to deal with that blue card at all, to be honest, so kind of weird. But if you do have like a really heavy hitting card and you're going to end up breaking the rotation, you can sometimes get away with just using it and hoping that it doesn't get too much of the damage negated, where you can actually, you know, finish off the phase and not get the broken mechanic. So let's see what we can do here. I think best case scenario, we want to make sure that we have Elat's ultimate on us when we go into the next phase. So let's try to activate Jormungand's passive here, and then we will use this, because this isn't going to kill by any means. It should rank up the one card that's not already gold in hand. We can push towards Elat's ultimate, because the big deal with Elat's ultimate is it increases your defense related stats by a lot, and as long as we don't have anything too crazy where he's going to get through that, you can typically patience his ultimate removal card, which makes it to where you can get your ultimates in the last phase and be able to, you know, burst through it a lot faster. We're going to get a little bit hindered because of that passive, of course, but as long as we can get into the phase, we do have to do a one rotation, or one full rotation before we can even deal damage to him. But it's not going to be the biggest deal in the world, I don't think. We'll just go ahead and use I think we can get away with this card right here. I'm really skeptical, actually. I'm almost kind of scared to use it. Let me push towards Eikthyrnir's ultimate, and then maybe move a card here. I just really don't want to move it. Yeah, I think that would have killed. So I'm glad I didn't attack there. So having Elat's ultimate on is going to be really, really nice. Plus, it's going to give us debuff immunity too. So that's going to be really helpful. I really want to draw more Jormungand cards if possible, because I have a lot of red cards. I don't have a lot of blue cards. Let's go ahead and use this, move this, and then just get rid of these, and that should push us into the next phase. That's going to give us the most ultimate move gauge that we can have for the 2 big damage dealers. I just need to see how the card draw treats me here, because I'm in a bit of a weird situation. Okay, actually, I think we ended up getting like a perfect kind of hand. So because we can only deal 1 damage while this stack is on, I'm going to go for maybe red first. Let's go red, green, blue, red. Yeah, let's use this red, so that way if we don't get our ultimates removed, we have Freyr's ult and Eikthyrnir's ult ready to go in hand. I really wanted to get rid of that Elat card, but I think we'll be fine without it. So that breaks all of the color rotation. This actually deals damage. It's a level 3 card, so it does actually pretty good. What passive did we get? Decreases all enemies' HP. So if I'm not mistaken, I think he just automatically has a built-in revive mechanic already. You can see we patience it with Eikthyrnir, but unfortunately Freyr did get his ultimate removed. So that is a bit bad for us. I can't remember what his revive is. Is it this one? Yeah, so if he survives with 20% HP or less. So let's go for green. Unfortunately, we have to use our blue card. I think that this is going to be enough to kill. If not, we're going to be in a really bad situation, because if we end up letting him put on his stance card, it's basically over, and then this blue card is the one that has evasion. Luckily, we have another buff removal card in hand, so hopefully this will deal enough to where this can kill, but if not, we should have this one as a backup for next turn. So that's blue into green, or sorry, green into blue into red into green. I think instead of completing the color wheel here, I am going to move a card instead, so that way it'll land on green first. That way I can use the buff removal card. Actually, I think we're good. But you can see how I'm kind of prepping ahead there. So there we go. Been a while since I've ran the deer, but that actually went as smooth as it kind of could have went. I did get a bad passive, but you could see we were able to kind of work around it there. I don't know. Still probably, like I said, this is probably not the best team that you can use nowadays, but it's very consistent for me because I kind of know how it works. I know the ins and outs of it. The fight itself isn't really that hard. You just kind of have to work around some specific mechanics, but this team kind of does that already. Light and dark units are kind of bad, but I noticed that I seen a thread on Reddit today where people were saying what they used for the deer, and a lot of people were using like Purgatory Melee, Ultimate Eikthyrnir, and I don't know that I can really agree with it, but I mean, these characters are basically going to hit damage cap regardless, especially if you have Jormungand's Holy Relic, because you're going to be ranking up cards and stuff like that very easily, and higher level cards are just going to hit damage cap pretty consistently. So that's basically it. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed or, got something out of it. But yeah, feel free to subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys later.